Black Beauty by Anna Sewell. Black Beauty begins his life in a pleasant meadow with his mother, Duchess. He learns early lessons about kindness and good behavior from her. Their master is a good man who treats all his horses with respect. Black Beauty witnesses his first act of cruelty when a boy named Dick torments the young colts with stones, but the master intervenes and dismisses the boy. These early experiences shape Black Beauty's understanding of human nature. One spring morning, Black Beauty witnesses a hare hunt that ends in tragedy. The hounds chase a terrified hare across the fields and eventually kill it. During the chaotic pursuit, a young man named George Gordon and his horse, Rob Roy, both suffer fatal injuries. Black Beauty's mother reveals that Rob Roy is actually his brother, which explains her deep distress. This event marks Black Beauty's first encounter with the cruel side of human sport. At 4 years old, Black Beauty is examined by Squire Gordon and begins his training. The breaking-in process introduces him to the bit, bridle, saddle, and iron shoes. His master handles him gently, ensuring he isn't frightened. Black Beauty also experiences the terror of seeing a train for the first time, but with patience, he learns to accept it. His mother advises him to always do his best, no matter who owns him. Black Beauty is sold to Squire Gordon and taken to Berwick Park. He meets the other horses, the cheerful pony Merrylegs and the temperamental chestnut mare Ginger. Ginger is initially hostile, having been mistreated in her past. Merrylegs explains that Ginger's bad temper comes from her harsh treatment by previous owners. Black Beauty resolves to live peacefully with all the stablemates. At Berwick, Black Beauty encounters kind humans. John Manley, the coachman, and James Howard, the stable boy, treat the horses with gentle care. After a successful trial ride, Squire Gordon and his wife decide to name the horse Black Beauty for his handsome appearance and sweet temperament. Black Beauty learns that Rob Roy, the horse killed in the hunt, was indeed his brother, which deepens his understanding of loss. Ginger confides in Black Beauty about her difficult past. She was taken from her mother early, treated roughly during breaking in, and suffered under cruel handlers. One particularly brutal man, named Samson, broke her spirit through violence. An old master showed her kindness, but the damage was done. Ginger's story reveals how cruelty can create a vicious cycle of fear and aggression in horses. Ginger continues her story, describing how she was sold to a fashionable gentleman in London who used a painful check rind to make her hold her head high for appearances. The constant pain in her mouth, neck, and windpipe made her increasingly irritable. After breaking her harness in rebellion, she was sold again. Ginger's experiences highlight the vanity and thoughtlessness of some owners. During their Sunday rest in the orchard, the horses discuss human cruelty. Sir Oliver, an old horse, explains how his tail was cruelly docked for fashion. The horses talk about blinkers, which limit their vision and cause accidents. Merrylegs shares his philosophy of staying good-tempered despite provocation. These conversations deepen Black Beauty's understanding of the varied treatment horses receive. The Gordons actively oppose animal cruelty. Mrs. Gordon confronts drivers who use harsh check rinds on their horses. Squire Gordon intervenes when he sees a man brutally whipping a pony. He also debates with a friend about the harm of tight check rinds, comparing them to tying soldiers' heads back before battle. Black Beauty realizes how rare and valuable such compassionate owners are. During a stormy journey, Black Beauty senses danger at a wooden bridge and refuses to cross despite his master's commands. Moments later, they discover the bridge is broken and would have collapsed under them. His instinct saves their lives. John praises Black Beauty's intelligence, noting that animals have knowledge beyond human reason. This event strengthens the bond between horse and master. John and Black Beauty encounter a boy brutally beating a pony for refusing to jump a gate that's too high. The pony eventually throws the boy into a hedge and escapes. John refuses to help the boy, believing he deserves the lesson. Later, James recalls how his schoolmaster taught that cruelty is the devil's own trademark. This reinforces Black Beauty's understanding of justice. Squire Gordon receives a letter offering James a position as groom for his brother-in-law, Sir Clifford Williams. After testing James's character through John, the squire recommends him for the job. James is conflicted about leaving, but accepts for his career. Before departing, he trains young Joe Green as his replacement. This transition marks the end of an era at Birtwick. While staying at an inn during a journey, a fire breaks out in the stable. Panicked horses refuse to leave their stalls as smoke fills the building. James courageously enters the burning stable, calms the horses, and leads them to safety, including Ginger and Black Beauty. His bravery saves their lives and earns him the master's deep gratitude. The fire was caused by a careless hostler smoking in the hayloft. Mrs. Gordon falls seriously ill, and Black Beauty is tasked with fetching the doctor. John rides him at breakneck speed through the night to reach help. They successfully bring the doctor back, saving Mrs. Gordon's life. However, young Joe Green, left to care for Black Beauty, fails to dry him properly after the exhausting run, causing the horse to catch a severe chill and become critically ill. Black Beauty hovers near death from illness caused by Joe's innocent neglect. John nurses him day and night. Joe is heartbroken with guilt. The horses overhear a conversation where John explains that ignorance can be as harmful as wickedness. Black Beauty eventually recovers, but the incident teaches everyone about the importance of proper knowledge in animal care. Joe Green matures through his mistake and becomes a more careful and determined worker. He proves his courage when he confronts a carter brutally whipping two overworked horses. Joe reports the man to the authorities, leading to the carter's arrest. This act of standing up against cruelty marks Joe's growth from a boy to a responsible young man. Mrs. Gordon's health declines, forcing the family to move to a warmer climate. The horses are dispersed. Merrylegs goes to the vicar. Ginger and Black Beauty are sold to the Earl of W., and John seeks work as a horse trainer. The parting is emotional, with tears from both humans and horses. Black Beauty leaves his happy home, uncertain of what awaits him. At Earlshall, Black Beauty and Ginger face the vanity of the Earl's wife, who insists on using painful check rinds to make the horses hold their heads high for fashion. Despite the groom York's reservations, he must obey his lady's orders. The check rinds cause constant discomfort and strain, particularly for Ginger, who remembers this torture from her London days. Pushed beyond endurance by the ever-tightening check rind, Ginger finally rebels. As York tries to shorten it further, she rears violently, kicks over the carriage pole, and falls. The incident injures both Ginger and Black Beauty. As a result, Ginger is removed from carriage service. Black Beauty continues to suffer with the check rind, his health deteriorating from the constant strain. Lady and the Earl's daughter decides to ride Lizzie, a nervous mare, against advice. When a colt startles Lizzie, she bolts across the countryside with Lady and clinging desperately. Black Beauty, ridden by Blantyre, gives chase. They find Lady and unconscious after a fall. Black Beauty carries a farmer to fetch help, saving Lady and's life. The incident proves Black Beauty's value and courage. Reuben Smith, a skilled but alcoholic groom, is left in charge when York goes to London. After drinking at an inn, he takes Black Beauty on a reckless nighttime ride. Drunk and careless, he fails to notice Black Beauty has lost a shoe. He whips the horse over stony roads until Black Beauty stumbles and falls, throwing Smith to his death. Black Beauty is left injured and alone on the dark road. Black Beauty is found and nursed back to health, but his knees are permanently scarred. Ginger returns, ruined by hard riding as a hunter. Both horses are now considered damaged goods. The Earl sells Black Beauty to a livery stable, separating him from Ginger forever. As a job horse, he's rented out to various drivers, many ignorant or cruel, beginning his descent in the world. As a job horse, Black Beauty experiences every kind of bad driving. Tight-rein drivers who never relax their pull, loose-rein drivers with no control, careless drivers who ignore stones in his feet, and steam engine drivers who think horses can go indefinitely without rest. He recalls Squire Gordon's wisdom that spoiling a horse is as cruel as spoiling child. After various owners, including a thief who steals his oats and a neglectful groom, Black Beauty is sold at a horse fair. He's purchased by Jerry Barker, a kind London cab driver who treats his horses with respect. Jerry doesn't use check rinds or harsh bits, gives Sundays off, and maintains a happy home with his wife Polly and children Harry and Dolly. Black Beauty finds unexpected kindness in a crowded city. Black Beauty works faithfully for Jerry, observing both cruelty and kindness in London. He encounters the worn-out Ginger pulling a poor cab, broken by hard labor. Their sad reunion ends quickly when her driver takes her away. Later, Black Beauty sees a dead horse that he believes is Ginger, hoping her suffering has ended. Jerry eventually retires from cab work due to health, and Black Beauty is sold once more, but to a kind farmer where he finds peace in his final years, remembering his mother's words to always do his best. Subscribe to Classic Book Summaries so you don't miss the next book summary.